This wraps up the entire special edition of Learn to Ride a Skateboard. You can actually watch the entire series for free on the internet if you haven't seen any of the previous episodes. You can also go to learntorideaskateboard.com and purchase a DVD for a very low price, or you can download the DVD entirely for free. Enjoy this last chapter of Learn to Ride a Skateboard.
You're too far apart. I look like really like...
No. Yeah, that's good, right? We'll just use it from there. Okay, so this part of the video is about the basics of tricks that you're going to learn in the skate park. You should start learning fakies, and then from there learn basic kick turns, and then learning how to drop in. But before you do all that...
Knee slide.
Yes.
Learn how to knee slide. Like I said, bailing, you want to just go straight to your knee pads. They're there for that reason. And then you'll get out of sticky situations because you know how to fall. And then I'd say the second most important thing is definitely learning how to fakie. You want that feeling because it's going to be with you for your whole entire skateboarding career, depending on where you're going with it. So definitely learn how to knee slide and start off faking.
Yep, so here we go, teaching you the basics of skate park tricks. The very first move that you should learn when skating in a skate park doesn't even involve a skateboard. It's called a knee slide. And the reason that you want to learn knee slides and practice them is because it really sort of goes against your natural instinct, but it helps you to not be hurt.
Knee sliding is a trick in and of itself, and it's really good to learn how to do it because whether you tuck and roll and keep your limbs in, or you learn how to knee slide, it keeps you from getting hurt while you're skating at a skateboard park. So be careful, be aware, and practice your knee slides.
As I mentioned, cracking your knees into the ground really kind of goes against your natural instincts, so that's why it's really good to practice knee slides. You don't tend to use them on small transitions and small skate parks, but if you become accustomed to it and you train your body to realize that you can drop to your knees, slide out, and you'll be safe, then when you do skate larger bowls and ramps and transitions, you'll be able to do knee slides without even thinking about it and keep yourself safe when you wipe out.
So now we're going to have all the kids demonstrate how to do a knee slide. Go for it, guys. Yeah, that's called a collision knee slide. But they did it really safely with their safety gear and helmet on. We got Maddie. Yeah. Knee slides are fun, they're easy, and it's really good to learn how to stay like nice and safe with your safety gear on. You want to stay nice and balanced, and it's good to keep your upper body too nice and tight and your knees together as you knee slide so they don't spread apart and you don't splatter all over.
Okay, the very first move that you should learn when learning to skate transitions is called a fakie. Fakies are where you simply ride straight up and come straight back down. And as you can see, you bend your knees kind of right in the transition and straighten out when you're coming up the transition. And the same applies when you're coming back down. Her legs are straight and her legs are bent as she comes back into the transition again, because you're sort of pumping up that transition. Now, we'll try it with the students, and I almost guarantee you that they're going to fall because everybody does the first time. It takes a long time to get that timing right and keeping your balance point when you're doing fakies. Okay, so now we're going to have the kids trying fakies. All right, go for it one at a time. Bend your knees as you go up, come back down. Whoa, he made it, didn't fall. Okay, next victim. Hey, very good. Try not to put your hands down like that. Okay, try that one again. Go again. Stay on the board. Keep your weight centered. There you go, excellent. Okay, and now, try with Madeline. Bend your knees when you go up and come back down. Now that's what most people do the first time that they try it. They end up falling on the way back down. That's the way it always happens because they forget to shift their weight again as they're moving back down the transition. Yeah, see, Madeline, you need to hit the transition straighter too. You keep coming at it at an angle. So try to make sure that you're actually going straight when you start to go up the angle of the bank. Okay, much better. There you go. Now all you got to do is when you're coming back down, make sure that you shift your weight and you'll make it.
Okay, Okay, after you learn how to do fakies, which is pumping up and back the same way, you're going to want to learn how to do a kick turn on a transition, which is the absolute basic of every other trick you're going to do in a mini ramp or bowl or vert ramp. So a kick turn is a 180 basically, where you go up one way and you pivot your skateboard 180 degrees and come back the other way. It's important to learn how to do on backside and front side. There's a backside kick turn and a front side kick turn.
Whoa, 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 back it up just a minute. Let's give you a better explanation of what front side and backside means. Okay, freeze it. Now, front side and backside are terms that originated in surfing, so let's pretend that the transition of the mini ramp that I'm on is actually a wave, and the top of the ramp is the top of the wave. Now, if you turn with your heels and your back towards the top of the wave, that is called a backside turn. If you're turning with your toes and your chest towards the top of the wave, that is called a front side turn.
See how he really lifts up his front wheels, his front foot, he lifts up and kicks out with his back foot a little bit as he's doing the pivot 180. You also want to remember to use your shoulders and look to where you're going, because wherever you're looking is where you're going to go. All right, so Maddie's going to give us a demo of a kick turn. Push up the wall, look where you're going, turn in, yeah. She lifted her front foot though, that was great. It's a great start. And kick turning, you know, it takes a couple times, so be patient. Now don't give up either. You know, if you get frustrated a couple times, just keep trying, because before you know it, you'll get it, and it's the basic of all other tricks on the mini ramp. All right, she's lifting up, yeah. Good job. You really want to make sure that you keep your knees bent, because the more that your knees are bent, the closer you are to the ground, and also the more stable that you are when you're skateboarding.
All right, so now we're going to try kick turns with the twins and see how they do. So go ahead, one at a time. Or keep your weight, oh, almost. Keep your weight over the board. Keep your weight centered. Try it again. Now, the biggest reason that you're having a hard time with these is because you're not keeping your weight centered over the board. You're kind of going too much on the tail. Okay, don't worry about going high. Just keep it low. Don't worry about going high. Just keep it really low. Concentrate on turning. That's what you want to do. Get the turn. So you're going really fast. Just slow it down and don't go high. Just go really, really slow and try to get that kick turn. See, almost. See, you're doing a lot better when you're keeping it slow. Keep it nice and slow, go low. Oh, there you go. That was like a 30-degree kick turn fakie. We didn't even teach that. Almost. Okay, so as you can see, kick turns do take some practice. And it's also really important to remember that was awesome. You did like 90 degrees, you almost made it. Remember to practice it both ways. That's something that I've seen a lot of people do at skate parks. A lot of young kids, they seem to just learn kick turns in one direction. Make sure that when you're practicing it, you practice both ways. First try it to the right, then try it to the left. And keep doing it over and over and over again in both ways so that you'll be able to skate on anything that you want. Sometimes when you're at a skate park, just the geography of a skate park might be such that there might be a section where you can only turn in one direction, right? So say, for example, you're skating something where you can really only turn to the right, and suppose you've only learned how to do kick turns to the left. Well, then you won't be able to skate that stuff. So make sure you learn it both ways. Kind of crouch down a little bit, you know, and just keep your weight over the middle. That was close. The next thing you're going to want to learn is how to pump a transition. Now, pumping is kind of difficult. In fact, we're not even going to have our students try it. But the way that you pump is that every time you get in the actual curve of the transition, you're bending your knees, like you can see Holly doing behind me, right? She's bending her knees when she gets into the turn of the transition, and as she comes up the transition, she straightens out her legs.
How you pump it is by using your body weight, your momentum, and it helps you keep your speed and helps you keep moving while you're skateboarding. Otherwise, you'll start off going high and go lower and lower and lower. So you have to pump in order to keep your speed and your momentum when you're riding transition.
Pumping a transition, whether it's a ramp or a pool on a skateboard, it's kind of a lot like riding on a swing set. You know, the way that you shift your weight and you throw your legs up and then you pull them back down. It's the exact same kind of concept. you're throwing your weight up the transition and then pulling it back down as you come back down the transition. And that shift of your weight is what allows you to keep your momentum going, just like on a swing set.
Pumping is something that does take a lot of practice, but this is how you keep your momentum going whenever you're skating pools or bowls or ramps.
Now once you've learned how to pump a transition, you can learn how to carve a transition. Now, carving is basically exactly the same concept, but now you're doing it horizontally instead of vertically. Now if you watch very closely, you'll see that every single time Holly and I hit one of the corners, we're compressing our knees down, and every time we hit one of the face walls, we're straightening out our legs. So it's the exact same idea. We're pumping our weight through the corners and straightening out on all the face walls. And by doing that, again, you can keep your momentum going and you keep your speed up. This is actually one of the most common things that I always get asked whenever I'm in a skate park by new skaters. You know, how do you carve? How do you carve the pool? That's all you got to do. Once you know how to pump, you'll know how to carve. It just takes a lot of practice.
So the next thing that we want to teach you is how to drop in to a mini ramp or any kind of transition. But before you're ready, and if you don't feel quite comfortable dropping on a transition, a great thing to learn is how to drop in on a flat bank. You can either roll down a flat bank like this, or you can put your skateboard out and drop in. So the first thing I'll do is just simply roll down a flat bank. What I want to do is keep my knees really bent and kind of keep my weight centered over the skateboard, which means because I'm going down a slope, I'm going to want to lean forward just a little bit. So after you've rolled down a flat bank, if you're not quite comfortable dropping in on coping, you can try dropping in on the flat bank. So you just put your tail where like the transition changes, bend your knees a lot, act like you're going to grab your nose and press super hard forward.
Okay, so the next thing that you want to try to learn is dropping in. Now, dropping in is something where you should definitely start as small as possible and work your way up. As Holly had explained, you can start on just an embankment, but then you eventually want to work up to going up bigger and bigger transitions. Dropping in is actually really easy, but it can be really scary. So the way that you drop in is the same, no matter how big the transition is. You simply put your board on the edge of the coping, put your front foot over the front bolts, and for me personally, I've had a much easier time when I kind of crouch down. I'm less scared for some reason when I do that. But you know, I'll admit there are things that are too tall for me to drop in on too at this point. So I'm still learning, just like everybody else. But on a 4-foot like this, it's really easy. You just put your front foot on there, put your weight to your front, and drop. And then you're in. And that's all you have to do to be able to drop in on transition. All right, so now we're going to try drop-ins with the twins. And okay, go for it, guys. Holly will be helping you out here.
Okay, you want your back foot firmly on your tail so that you can stand there all day long with your skateboard hanging out over the coping. Then put your front foot over your front bolts at a 45-degree angle like you normally would when you're skating, and take your front hand and act like you're going to grab the nose, and that helps you put your body weight in the forward momentum going forward. It helps you put your make your body weight going forward. Do that. There we go. Close, close. All right, so you're gonna do the same thing. You have your back foot firmly on your tail, so you can stand there all day long if you want. And act like you're gonna grab the nose of your board. Lean forward. Lean more forward. Yeah.
Now remember, with dropping in, again, this is something where you want to start small, so you can see this little like dais thing that we have the kids dropping in on is really low, it's really tiny. So even if you do fall, you're not going to fall very far.
Ready? Just lean forward and aim going straight ahead.
We're going to try a roll-in with Madeline. Now we want to try a roll-in instead of a drop-in because this is something that you should practice first. So, Madeline, give it a shot. She's never done one before, so she's nervous. But that's okay, there's a lot of us here to take her to the hospital. Send them, you can do it, you've got it.
And as you can see, well, she didn't have it. But this is good because it gives us an opportunity to analyze her fall and figure out exactly what went wrong. So, let's watch it back in slow motion, shall we? So as you can see, Madeline's starting out pretty good. She's got her weight very centered, she's got her knees bent. She starts out excellent, but she makes the same mistake that so many people do. As soon as she starts to go down the transition, She gets scared of going too fast. She leans her weight backwards, and that's it. She eats it. The board shoots out from under her, and she slams. And she really got the wind knocked out of her on that. You can see her chest just kind of smacked right into the ground, and she had a hard time breathing. So, you know, don't lean backwards. Keep your weight centered over the board, so you will avoid such accidents yourself.
So, Venom, you can do it. You've got it. And
I actually think that despite the major fall that I had on the roll-ins, that I had the hardest time with the tic-tacs because I couldn't get the concept of putting my weight on my back foot and leaning forward. So it was very hard for me to you know, understand what that felt like.
Hardest time? Probably leaning over the end of the, I don't know what it's called. Yeah, the drop-in. It was really fun, and I like to do it a lot, and I want to do it more, and I encourage other people to do it. It's just really fun.
So I think it was really important in the beginning to learn on the grass because it helped you get your center of gravity, and you know, it helped you balance and you know, figure out how to move on the skateboard and feel more confident in yourself that you're able to, you know, stay on instead of falling. I think it was really important to learn how to fall because some people don't know how, and you end up breaking an arm or a leg or a wrist and really injuring yourself. And it's a very simple thing to know how to do.
Having Holly teach me, I thought it was really cool. I think she's really awesome. The easiest time I had with was going down the ramps, and yeah.
My favorite part was learning how to push because it's just a basic of skateboarding and it's kind of a step off point, and I felt more like I could use the skateboard more after learning how to ride it and push it, and I felt very accomplished and confident in myself.
The hardest time I had with skating was drop-ins. Those were really hard.
I think it was really important to be taught by someone who knew what they were doing, not just because they know how to teach you, but also because it kind of shows you that they were at a point in their life that you are now, not knowing how to skate, and they had to learn by themselves. And so it makes you feel really lucky that you know, that you have somebody to help you, and it just gives you that much more incentive to want to learn.
Having people like you and Holly show me how to skate, it was really fun. I just wish we could do some more.
I definitely thought skating was very challenging and that it takes a lot of hard work, but I think in the end, when I start, you know, learning more about it, I'm really going to have a lot of fun with it. And it's just going to be a really great experience. You know.
Okay, so thanks for watching the whole skate video. You can see we skated all day and we shut the skate park down. So we hope that you guys go out there and do the same kind of thing. And remember, this video is yours to make copies of. Give copies to your friends. If you run a skate park, give copies to people who show up at the park. If you run a skate shop, feel free to make copies and give it to all your customers.
Remember, just go out there, have fun, be safe, and enjoy skateboarding.
And you know, I've got like 7 skateboards right now. I don't need 7 skateboards. I could probably get rid of those last 3. So you guys want to keep your 3 skateboards?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You guys get to keep your boards, but you got to promise that you're actually going to ride them, because if they just sit in your closet and collect dust, you just give them to someone else, okay? But if you ride them, keep them, all right? Okay, cool. Go skate. Get out of here.
You too. Go have fun.
All right. Can you teach me frontside air?
All right. Well, that's going to have to be tomorrow, but let's go.
Okay. You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.